Well, good evening and welcome to Union Bridge Town Council meeting. This is another virtual meeting this month. It's November the 23rd, 2020, and we'll begin our meeting with hope everyone's had a chance to read the minutes and operating statements from last month. And if so, we're inclined to have a motion to approve those minutes and operating statements.
I'll make a motion that we approve the October operating statements, October 26, 2020 council meeting minutes, November 9th, 2020 work session minutes, and Quantum's financial statement for October 2020.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Or any questions? Hearing none, I'll just give us a thumbs up and we'll say that that's approval. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Okay. How about you, Edgar? Don't see your thumb. Okay, that's the majority. Okay. Motion's approved. All right, under mayor's report, I have a short report this month. November the 10th, I attended a meeting for Donald. He had another engagement, but I had a meeting with the railroad down here and the state highway to talk about a crossing that they want to replace on Main Street and Union Bridge. They had some problems with that a couple of weeks ago with the signaling that is underneath the road. It has a wire that goes underneath it there. And believe it or not, this signal has been in for 20 years already since it's been replaced. It has a 20-year lifespan, and they plan on replacing that sometime in early spring. I told them, as long as we didn't hit a weekend, it was the Union Bridge Carnival week. That's the only thing that I could think that we had planned for early spring. And they said it would they'd close it down on Friday, late Friday afternoon. So it'd be Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to be opened back up. So we look forward to that new crossing being put in there. We still do not have a date when they're going to start on the Shepherd's Mill Road crossing. That the county is still working on that, and they're waiting on some other funding on that. But when that happens, that crossing will be closed for approximately a year. So that other additional traffic will be coming through town. And they're going to work with us on that so that we can at least have everybody have notice on when that's going to happen. So that's probably another year out for that anyway. Last week, the National League of Cities had their city summit that I attended a virtual conference on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It was a very good conference. This year's conference was supposed to be in Miami, Florida, but it was called off due to COVID-19, so it was all virtual, and that was a very good conference. Had a lot of good conversation from people all over the United States. Heard a lot of ideas on the COVID planning and how it was affecting each other state, and some ideas of what they plan on doing this winter, trying to help eliminate the virus going around. Hopefully people will follow some of the ideas and things that the state and everybody else, the governor and everybody's putting out to try to help bring the numbers down. Right now it's growing very rapidly. The hospitals are pretty stressed right now. Hospital bids are adding up every day. The numbers are adding up, and believe it or not, there's still a lot of people out in the public that still does not believe that this is something that they should be aware of. So we'll do the best we can in and around town and try to put out to everybody that, it is very serious. I guess we are still, until the numbers go down, we're probably still going to be, late spring or early summer before we get our community center open back up for rentals. But we'll have to see how it goes after the first of the year. This next week and next month for Christmas is going to be very crucial. They're asking people not to have large gatherings for Thanksgiving and things like that. So we'll see how the numbers are. Right now, they said that airfares are only down 10% of what they were last year. So people are still traveling. They're still going to see family and things like that. But excuse me, hopefully we'll have some good news after this next week or so, and we'll see what happens. That's about all that I have on my report right now, and we'll go to our attorney, John McGuire.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. And good evening, everyone. I have a relatively, also a brief, basically follow-up and update to matters that all relate one way or another to the solar project. You may have seen or heard that the site plan was resubmitted today. It was submitted to the town and to the county. So meaning that the applicant has addressed many, if not all, of the comments that were made to the first iteration of the plan. So too soon to really know, exactly what has been addressed and what is different. But that will go to Ned Cuman and on to the Planning Commission. And it also will be circulated to the various agencies at the county for that follow-up comment, all with the idea of ultimately going to the County Planning Commission for approval when the agencies have completed their review and they found it satisfactory. Also related to the solar project, the attorneys for UB Solar have now sent me a draft annexation petition and land options. I've taken a look at those and given them comments. They've also sent the pilot, which is the payment in lieu of tax agreement. That was more or less negotiated during the PSC case, but there are some blanks to be filled in. So we're working on that. And same thing with an annexation agreement. That was more or less negotiated during the PSC case, but there are some details to fill into that. So that's moving at about, it's a slow pace, but about the correct pace, because again, the annexation itself needs to be timed to come in after the site plan is approved, or at least sort of simultaneously with that. And then the final thing that peripherally relates to the solar property is that the Locust Wetland Project has been moved from the county agency level to the county commissioners to release the funding for the acquisition of the 2 acres that we've been talking about for that project, which will ultimately be owned by the town. So not too sure, and Chris Hine at the county wasn't able to pin down for me exactly how long that will take, but there is some process at the county commissioner level. I think it's fairly routine, but at least that's moving in the right direction. And once Chris gets it through that process, then I assume it can be moved towards a closing where there will be a purchase of that property from the solar company. And unless you have any questions, that's my update for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, we'll move right along to Deputy Calusi. Brian, I think you're with us this evening.
I am. Good evening. Between the dates of October 26th until November 22nd, the Sheriff's Office responded to 53 calls for service within the town limits of Union Bridge. Out of those calls for service, only 3 calls required a report, which were the following. On October 31st, at approximately 11:14 a.m., deputies responded to the unit block of West Broadway Street in reference to a single vehicle accident. Upon arrival, it was discovered that a driver struck the porch of the structure at the location. Deputies, while speaking with the driver, detected a strong odor of alcohol, and the driver's speech was slurred. Deputies conducted the standardized field sobriety tests on the driver, which resulted in the driver being arrested for suspicions of driving under the influence. The driver was transported to the Carroll County Detention Center for processing and submitted to a sample of breath, which resulted in a reading of 0.15 grams of alcohol to the 210 liters of breath provided. Subject was released on citations later. On November 4th, at approximately 7:05 p.m., deputies responded to the unit block of North Lightner Street in reference to a theft. The investigation revealed that unknown suspects utilized the victim's cash card at the Bank of America in Jessup, Maryland. Investigation continues on that. On November 20th at approximately 3:26 a.m., deputies find the Union Block of White Street in reference to a wanted subject. Upon arrival, deputies were able to locate two subjects who were wanted, one of which was a fugitive from justice out of Pennsylvania. Both individuals were transported to the Carroll County Detention Center without incident for processing, and that case has been since closed. And all participants involved in the above-mentioned cases are innocent until proven guilty in court of law. That is all I have for you this evening. If you have anything, just let me know.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Okay, we're moving right along. Public comments and concerns. Okay. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. We'll move on to committee reports. We'll start with Laura.
All right, so the Christmas lights are up. They look great. I have called Potomac Edison to have the lights, the power turned on to the meters, and they will be turned on after Thanksgiving. And I attended the CCRC meeting on November 12th. We did not have a quorum. Richard Turner, who is the executive director of CMC, was there, and he reported a few things. He said that they had, I think, recorded about 2 or 3 different Veterans Day programs. They had a virtual gala for the Historical Society, which was successful in their fundraising. They had the Carroll Hospital Auxiliary Phantom Ball, which also they said was successful. And because of COVID and all the virtual meetings, that they said 100% of there's 100% coverage for all municipalities for their meetings, and it has resulted in lower labor costs because it's all virtual. They have upgraded their CMC has upgraded their website, and there is a mobile app coming, and the prototype is out now. And then from the CCRC, the technical audit status is there's no update because it's still in progress. And I believe that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Amy, how are you this evening?
I'm great, thank you. I have only received one phone call, and it was about a bill, so I forwarded it to Dawn at the town hall. That's all I have.
Okay. Edgar.
I don't have anything this time. It looked like the paving up the center is getting done, so that's a good thing. So we'll move on with that. Okay.
Okay,
all I
thank you. All right. All right, Donald.
Okay, speaking of the community center, as everyone has seen, the new road is in. They're in the process. I've got some night paving to do on the beltways. So hopefully after Thanksgiving, they'll be back up and finish up the parking lot. And that's going to look like a new building, a new place up there. The park has been mowed again. They did an outstanding job. It really looks nice. And I am asked Mike to look into maybe possibility of getting a grant to get some type of skid loader that we can get a bush hog that fits on the front of it. That will do the mowing much easier and faster. And so I got to get some prices from Mike on that. So that's about it for this. Keep the snow away, and wish everybody a nice Thanksgiving.
Okay, and I talked to Donald last week. We are going to try to get an overhead picture of the park down there so we can send in for a sustainability award. I think that when it's mowed down, it looks very nice. And with that being a walking trail and for recreation and things like that, we should be able to get an award for that for sustainability. So we're going to work on that while it's mowed down and see if we can't get that for in the spring. I think it's but the visitors that we're having down there, it's a lot of visitors. Actually, there's people going down there having wedding pictures done and pictures taken for their children for birthdays and things like that. So It does get a lot of use. We're getting a lot of good comments on the park down there. People are really using it. They've been seeing the deer down there and everything else about the wildlife and everything. So it's a great asset to the town. And I always remind people that that's not the only walking trail we have. We do have one at the community center too. That is a little bit, shorter distance for, older people and all that can't walk a long distance. So we do see people up there using that one also. So we're trying to keep those things open and make sure they get a lot of use. I don't have anything else other than our December meeting for the work session. We will cancel that. And our next meeting will be December the 21st at 7 o'clock. And due to the COVID this year, we will not be having our actual, we usually at Christmas, we always have just a little Christmas gathering after that. We will not have that this year because we're not in the town office having our meetings. Been looking at it. I just don't know how we can actually have meetings in there and keep everybody 6 feet apart and then have guests come in. So hopefully once people start getting the antidotes after the first of the year and everything, and some of these numbers go down, I'm hoping that, early spring, we can get back into our office and have regular meetings, but we'll have to see how that goes. But we're going to try our best, and we'll just have to take it one day, 1 month at a time and see what happens. So if we have nothing else, did I miss anything? I don't see, hope we didn't miss anybody, but if we don't have anything else, we're in line for adjournment.
Hey, Laura, that doesn't mean that you're off the hook on make me that candy.
Of course not, Donald. I'll make you all the toffee you want, all the toffee you can eat.
Okay, just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much. And then if you do, just come back down to the trail next week and the week after that and walk it off and get some exercise. So hearing no further business, we're in line for adjournment.
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a thumbs up. Okay. Motion's carried. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight. These meetings are getting shorter every month. Thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.